All right, hey everybody. My name is Jonathan Trommer here with another episode of Fitstyle Podcast. So here we have the pleasure of having our guest, Eleanor, another fellow WOJ athlete team member. Just wanted to get her on here to talk about, some similarities we have with our, military background, as well as obviously being coached and our current bodybuilding preps. So without further ado, I'll let her introduce herself and just say a little bit, about what's going on.
Yeah, so I'm Eleanor Roe. I just got out of the military a month ago. I was in the Army for 3.5 years. And right now I'm on prep for my first show that's coming up in April.
Awesome. What did you do in the military? What was like your MOS?
I was a mechanic.
Mechanic? Awesome. You're working on like Humvees, aircrafts, like.
Yeah, like Humvees and stuff.
Awesome.
It was not my first choice, but
awesome.
Yeah.
So obviously the military is very physical, as we both know. Was working out something like you already did, and then like the military had that, so you joined, or was it like, hey, I want to join the military and I kind of have to get myself in shape for it?
No, I've always kind of been like active. When I was in middle school and high school, I ran a lot. I did some half marathons. I did a full marathon, and then I decided running was not for me. And I was about 17 then. And then I did CrossFit like really hardcore, like my last 2 years of high school. And then when I was in the military, I still did CrossFit a little bit. I don't know. I don't think the military really benefited my physical fitness at all, or like anything like that. All we ever did for PT was like calisthenics or running or rucking. It was nothing like I didn't already know how to do. So
yeah, understandable. That's kind of how it was for me. I was very much into, weightlifting. I didn't really do too much running before the military. Was something I had to like adopt to do. Obviously through training, like you said, rucking, I had to adopt swimming, all that good stuff. Did really teach me a lot about, like, as you would imagine, our dynamic warm-ups, all that good stuff. I kind of fell in love with distance running when I was in the military. I know that was something like you did prior, but I don't know if it's the same. I'm assuming it's the same in the Army. There's like that like meathead mentality. There's like a subculture within like fellow like soldiers, Marines, or sailors that like all go to the gym. Isn't that correct?
yeah.
Yeah, like you can clearly see in like your platoon, there's those people. There's like the people who like actually run and enjoy it and do calisthenics. Then there's the people who like join the military for some other reason.
And then they do it because they have to do it.
Yeah, like there's always those two types of people. So
Yeah.
that's good to know. That's kind of similar to me. Like I already worked out. So did you have like what we called them for the Marines is pool functions? Essentially, you're in the delayed entry program where like you've sworn in, but you're not like at training yet, where like you work out with your recruiter. Did you have that?
Yeah, I went to that like a few times. It was like weird. Like, I mean, not weird, but I didn't like it. It was just like, I don't know, like the other like kids my age were like, I don't know, just kind of weird. I went with this girl and she was cool, and we still talk sometimes. Like we have each other on social media and stuff, and like that was fun, but like we just went because we had to. Like we didn't like to go.
Yeah, that's very, very different than my experience. I was very gung-ho. I knew I wanted to join the military like freshman year of high school. Like I saw like the Silent Joe platoon poster. It was like, I want to like look cool like that. So I signed when I was a junior in high school, actually. It was May 22nd, 2012, because that day was the senior's last day. And even though I still had 2 weeks of school, they considered me a senior. So I went to PT with recruiters twice a week for like 2 years before I graduated. And I was super gung-ho. Like I wore like my Marine shirt every Friday. I wore my like pulley shirt. I had like a camo backpack and like lived it for 2 years before I even got to boot camp. But then of course it backfired. And I like halfway through my years of service, I was like already like mentally done. So, well, anyway, it was still good. Definitely created a lot of like, as you imagine, discipline with bodybuilding, pushing yourself beyond your normal limits, all that good stuff. Obviously, you kind of had some of that before you got there. Like, I don't know if you had any like I know you did CrossFit, but I know usually with CrossFit, there's like, I don't know what you would call them, not necessarily teams, but like gym families that it's kind of like you people there keep you accountable and there's like a workout of the day. So it's not just like you're just willy-nilly whatever. If you skip, right?
Yeah. There's
So
definitely like, definitely like more of a community. I felt like when I did CrossFit, and now it's just, you're kind of on your own.
yeah.
But
So, and obviously that correlates to the military where like you're doing unit PT or like when you run your like annual fitness tests, like everyone's kind of in the same thing with like bodybuilding. Like it's on you. Like no one can eat your meals for you. No one can go to the gym for you. I mean, we have like some friends we can go with, but every single body is different. So
yeah.
now I know you said you are in prep now. What made you decide to go from marathon running to CrossFit to calisthenics to then like lifting weights and doing bodybuilding?
I don't know. I guess I just like new things. I like trying new things. I've always like since I was 13, like since I was young, I always knew like I always looked up to girls who had muscle, and I just like was in awe of them. And I was like, I'm gonna look like that when I'm older. So I guess I was just trying to find like my groove and like find what worked well for me. And I definitely saw the most progress and when I started doing bodybuilding stuff. So I kind of I did CrossFit for a couple, like the first 2 years I was in the military. And then I met my boyfriend that I'm with now, and he did like traditional like lifting kind of bodybuilding stuff, and I thought it was stupid at the time, but I was like, whatever, I'll just like go with you to the gym. And I guess he kind of got me into it, and then I just started to like that better than doing CrossFit stuff. I don't know. I saw more gains.
Yeah. I think that's pretty I think that's common. I feel like for women that's usually how it works. Like for guys, it's just like I mean kind of similar. They see someone who's super muscular, or it's just this kind of like what do you call it? Social expectations or something. Like it's just cool to be really strong and tough. So that's why guys lift, and it's aggressive. And then I think like for me, I've done marathon training before. I've tried CrossFit before. So same thing here. I saw the most progress from my body type with this. And so like, well, if I'm good at it and it's working, why not do it the most?
Right.
So, not that I don't love running or anything. But that's what happened with a lot of people is their significant other goes to the gym with them. They realize they like it because obviously, there's this big stigma that girls don't want to lift because they think they're going to get bulky, right?
Yeah.
And it's actually really hard because then there's people like you who are
Yes.
trying to get big and they're like, dude, I'm literally trying to do it. And it takes a long time.
Yes. For
So,
real.
but do you feel obviously through the military, you gain that like pride and confidence, but do you think since doing bodybuilding, specifically weight training, that you have a confidence that like you don't need to run 2 hours to get six-pack abs? You can actually do 20 minutes of walking on incline in your diet to like get shredded?
Yeah. I mean, like, I never made like the mind muscle connection. I never like when I was doing CrossFit, like I was just like trying to get everything done as fast as I could, because that's what makes you good at CrossFit, is like doing everything as fast as you can, like beating other people. And so it was never about like going slow and like actually feeling a contraction in the right muscles, like when you're working out. And like when I started doing bodybuilding, like I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. And I'm seeing crazy muscle growth. And I also started weighing my food. Like last year, I started like weighing my food and kind of tracking calories and macros. And that's when I really saw the most progress too. What was the question again? About
No, just like seeing like, does like how bodybuilding specifically maybe gave you more confidence than other activities. So like for me, like running, it might feel good to like get that higher number of mileage. But with like bodybuilding, I realized I can do less or like simplify things and it like works better. It's like you stick to your macros, you train 5 times a week, and you just keep lifting heavier and you don't overcomplicate it, and it works. Whereas like before, when you're not tracking, you don't really know what you're eating and you just think like pushing harder is better. Like you don't actually get those results because you're going in and you're just lifting what's comfortable from last time and not, hey, it was 90 pounds last time, we need to hit 100 this time, or 90 pounds for more reps. Because I would always pick up the 30s because I know I can do 30s, and I would never think to go any higher unless I felt 30s were light.
Yeah.
You have to push yourself to like do it. So honestly, just accountability was like the biggest thing. So I'm assuming that was similar, because the other sports, you don't necessarily have that strict of like tracking.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So obviously after that, talking more about prep. So when did you officially start the current season you're on?
It was like in January, like the first or second week of January. I don't even remember. I wanted to wait to start till like halfway through January, but Jake was like, hey, we need to start now, like if you actually want to be like have good conditioning for the shows. Because I thought like, I don't know, I thought I only needed like 8 to 10 weeks to be ready, but he's like, no, like 16 or like whatever, so I was like, well, oh shit, I guess I better get started.
That's similar. That's what I realized with Jake is like, I did my first bodybuilding competition all on my own and gave myself like 3 months, like bulking, maintenance, and cutting, and like literally only cut for probably like a month or two, and just did it drastic changes and it affected my body. Whereas like him, it's like you might adjust like only 100 calories.
Yeah.
Week to week. So
yeah, the first time he like cut calories, we did like a 200 calorie cut, and I was like, holy shit. I was like, are we like gonna be cutting this much like every week, or like, but like we like after that we haven't like changed much, like maybe like dropped like 20 more calories after that, and like just like increased cardio. But I mean, I've been losing like about a pound a week, so
that's pretty good. My weight's been super stubborn for some reason this season. Like I'll look leaner, but my weight will go up a pound. It's really weird. Like I had check-ins this morning and I'm like up another pound, but I look better, like as far as the pictures. So it's like you can't see the plane, but you can't get too much in your head. So like my max weight was 194 at peak at the start of cutting, and it's only like 191 right now, but we've been doing this for like so ever many weeks, but I look different. So but we're kind of digging a little bit harder now. I'm like a few hundred calories below where I was at per day, so like obviously that's but we'll get there. So I think you're 7 weeks out now. I'm actually 9 weeks out now, so you're 2 weeks out. So what division are you competing in? Will be figure?
Maybe like, so I'm gonna do the Roar, the one that's on the 16th, and then I'm doing the one that's the 23rd. It's like the weekend after that one. You know what I'm talking about?
So you're
So
7 to 8 weeks out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the first one, the Michigan Roar, the one that's in Midland, that one, like I might do physique too, but I don't know yet.
Will they allow you? Because I know OCB, they don't allow you to do 2 divisions.
Yeah,
show.
that's why I might try like to do it for the first one, because the second one is I think it's the OCB, and you can't. I asked Emily and Jake, and like you can't do more than 1 division.
I believe NPC lets you do that. And a lot of people, guys, will do like men's physique and classic, or classic and open, which I would like to do, but I'm probably gonna have to split it up. I'm gonna do classic at the beginning of the year and then cut down more and then do bodybuilding. So yeah, that's pretty cool. How do you feel about doing 2 shows back to back, having 2 peak weeks?
I'm excited. I feel like it sounds like the first one is smaller, so it's like my practice show, and then I have to do good for the bigger show.
It's especially because it's not like, because I only did 1 show last year, and then like that was the only show I did for the entire season. So now I'm super eager to go again. It's not like you have your first, second, third, and now this year I want to compete like 3-4 times.
Yeah,
because you know.
And the suit's so freaking expensive. I'm like, I want to get as much use out of it as I can.
Well, yeah. Well, I learned from, men bodybuilder Ian Valier. Like this past year, he had like 3 pro wins. I think like he'll go like he did the Orlando Pro, Texas Pro, and then like was like number 7 at Olympia. And he's like, hey man, like, you make money if you win. You're already in good shape. You might as well do it. And people think like, oh no, don't compete all these shows because it takes away chances for like other people to do it. It's like, hey, if you're better, then beat me. But if I'm better, I'm gonna like make money and provide for my family. So like,
yeah.
I mean, even not even a monetary thing. I think just like, why not win more? I mean, if we are taking our 16, 18 weeks to cut down, like you're already in good shape. You might as well do a photo shoot or do something or do whatever while you're already lean, instead of like just yo-yo dieting like every like couple months.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm excited is for that. So awesome. So we got that going on. Anything else? As far as like, I know we briefly talked, you were thinking about potentially training at some point, maybe in the future.
Like training other
people, being like a certified personal trainer.
Right now, I just got a job with Anytime Fitness, and I'm training there. I just have a few clients right now. It like takes a little bit of time to like build up your clients, but it's a lot of like older people. So, but it's fun.
What would be your ideal like client? Because I know sometimes people, they like to do one thing but teach another. So like, would you want to do like lifestyle coaching, maybe more physical therapy, elderly people, or maybe like some people like to train, like I want to train like high school or college athletes to like perform better? What would be like what you're looking to do, or even bodybuilding?
I mean, I guess I can't really say. I really like working with older people, helping them maintain their like balance and stuff like that. As they get older, I've never trained like younger people, or so I guess I can't say like if I would like it or if that's what I want to do, because I don't really know yet.
Okay. Wasn't sure if you had like specific people in mind, like teachers to say like, I love to teach like kindergarten, or I love to teach middle school age, or people have their preference. But once you keep doing it for a while, obviously you'll get your, what you prefer.
Right.
So, okay, cool. Next would be, I want to kind of ask you some questions so we can kind of let the listeners know, like maybe some female specific questions as far as how your prep's going. If you guys listened last week, my buddy G on here talking about his experience with prep and posing and, tracking if you didn't track before, and I guess like mood swings and stuff like that. I know you're still about 7 weeks out, so it's starting to get to that like, pretty intense time, I guess, crunch time, as we say. So how has things been, I guess, as far as your prep, maybe physically or mentally? I mean, obviously with the military, you've gone through tough things before, but how has it been like learning posing for the first time? How, is it easy to hit your macros? Is it not? What have been like your pain points with this?
Yeah, I actually just like hit a hiccup the other day. Jake and I like were able to correct it though. I was going over my macros. So like I use my Fitstyle to track
Mm-hmm.
my meals and stuff. And the calories aren't accurate on it, and like I was like eating over, and I thought I was doing great. I thought I was doing good, and like it was not good. So we had to like clean that up. But that was good. And I mean, I was still losing weight, so I guess it's like okay, but like Jake was like, well, this deep into prep, it's not okay to be that much over. So, but we were able to fix it. I feel like emotionally I've been fine. Not as bad, like, or like as crazy as I thought I might be.
Mm-hmm. It might in the next couple weeks, though.
Yeah.
Going back real quick to the MyFitnessPal, was that like, I know if you get premium, you can like set net carbs and it'll like deduct things, or like if it calculates your exercise calories, it'll deduct it for you and tell you you can eat more. Was it something like that? Or where like I've run into issues, specific type of foods don't calculate the macros properly. So if you
It was
scan the
that.
label, it'll say like 360 calories, but if you actually take the grams it has times however much it is, it doesn't work. So like, let's say you hit your macro goal at the end of the day, but let's say you are like under over 100 calories. It means the labels aren't correct in the
Yeah, like
system.
yeah, those are like the problems I was having. I wasn't like tracking it correctly.
Or you just got to make sure it's like grams or milliliters or whatever, make sure it's
Right.
so, or for a while when I was bulking, like for the while I wasn't using grams. I was using actual measuring cups. So like if you think like, I don't know, for instance, peanut butter, like a tablespoon, you're like, oh, a spoon's like a tablespoon. And then you realize it's like that could be two. So, or even like if you have like rice and you're scooping with like, let's say like a half cup thing, is it super compacted? Is it not? So I realized I need to use grams. And sure enough, when I started using grams, everything started to like work. So, yeah. Okay. So there was that with MyFitnessPal. You said you still feel pretty emotionally good. Um, I'm sure Emily or maybe Jake has talked to you about, sometimes people, once they get really, really low on carbs, they get pretty moody or brain fog, or if you stand up too fast, or some women lose their period or stuff like that. Do you feel pretty mentally prepared, or do you think it's just kind of early and your body's just doing well now and you just kind of take it for what it is?
I don't know. I guess I'm just taking it for what it is right now. I feel better than I thought I would, I guess. I also started taking an appetite suppressant this week though, because I was like pretty hungry and I was having trouble sleeping because I would just wake up and like lay there and be hungry, and I was starting to like feel a little miserable. So I started taking that, and that's helped me a lot this past week. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was good.
I've even learned little tips and tricks where like timing of your meals, obviously for really low calorie, you get really
Mhm.
hungry in the day, you try to eat all of them. So I've tried to like, don't eat based off of hunger, eat based off what time it is. So then you
Yeah.
stay consistent. And same thing the opposite way, like people aren't hungry for breakfast. Well, if you never eat breakfast at that time, you're never gonna be hungry for it. But if you train your body to eat at certain times, it'll kind of follow.
Mhm.
Or just make sure to save enough calories at the end of the day So it's not like your last meal's at 5 p.m., but you go to bed at 10 p.m. Obviously, you're going to get hungry.
Yeah.
So I try to like look at my daily calories, divide it by like 5 or 6, and then like, okay, that's your meals. And just kind of, well, depending on how much you have.
Yeah.
So I had to do that for the opposite reason. So for bulking, if you're eating 3,000 calories or more, you need 500 calories per meal. And to get that in, you need 6 meals. So 6 meals, I mean, you're eating every 2 hours. So I realized even though I'm not hungry, it's been 2 hours. I need to eat. So I guess in the opposite way, you'd be like, okay, I know I'm hungry now, but like I need to eat every 3 or 4 hours. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
yeah. So what other things like I've definitely dealt with that where you're hungry and you just can't sleep. What are some other tips that you've used to um, like kind of like, I don't know if you're dealing with like finding foods like to make it taste good because you have to eat really low fat or really low carb. Like, was there any things like you've noticed that you're doing now because you're so restricted?
I mean, like this is a tip from Jake and Emily. When I do eat meals, like I'll drink a shit ton of water like with the meal and like just try to blow my stomach, and it helps me feel more full. Because like even after I eat some of these small meals, like I'm still hungry after. But if I like drink a bunch of water like while I'm eating or like right before I eat the meal, like it helps me feel more full.
Yeah. I've done that or like if I have really spicy food, like lots of hot sauce, or like really bold flavor, or like if you drink black coffee, or like if your food's really hot, I've noticed that helps. Um, Obviously drinking a lot of water. I think I saw you drinking one like seltzer waters, like just carbonated. Do you like drink like a lot of
Yeah.
diet soda and stuff like that to stay full?
I mean, I drink like, yeah, I do. Or like I'll get those like powdered drink mixes and like mix it in with my water,
Mhm.
like the 0 calorie ones, just like to help. So so I'm not like, it doesn't feel like I'm drinking like just water. Like I get sick of drinking water, you know?
Yeah, that's why I would recommend that people use like fruit juice, not like the big thing of fruit juice. I mean like lemon juice or lime juice, or like people use like orange slices. I know usually people do it like fancy restaurants, but you should be surprised if you put a little bit of lemon juice or something in there to just give it some sort of flavor. It really goes a long way. Same thing with your food. Um, I posted this on my story the other day. This, if sometimes instead of cooking with oil, if you cook with like lemon juice, it really helps, especially in like rice in your chicken. So like, I mean, obviously you can use like dry seasoning and stuff like that. But I noticed even if it's not like a great flavor, if it's just a different flavor, you really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because if you keep eating the same condiments or the same sauces, like it just gets annoying. But if you, even if it's not even that great, it's just different. You're like, oh, this is like, this is nice. This is different. It's still chicken and rice, but it's like lemon chicken and rice versus like garlic chicken and rice. So
Yeah.
that usually helps. All right. We're getting close on time, about to wrap up. So I'll just kind of leave this open if there's anything you want to talk about, anything you want to mention. um, Maybe any advice for any people or maybe specifically females who want to get into competing, what your recommendations are, or if you just kind of want to state, like I said, your experience so far, what you're looking forward to.
Yeah. I don't know really. I guess like one thing is like that I've noticed is I kind of started to draw back from people, like from my family and stuff when I first started, or I would like I was hungry compared to what I would be like on like when I was eating maintenance calories. I was pretty hungry like right away when we started, and I would like get mad when other people would be eating food around me that I couldn't like be eating or whatever. And I guess it's just like realizing that like that I'm the one who chose to do this, and like I can't be mad at other people for living their lives while I'm like, you know, restricting myself from this stuff. And not only like food and stuff, I don't know. It's just like a lot of things. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't
So
know.
it's a way of life.
Yeah.
It's so easy. I think after a while you learn how to deal with it. For a while, it'd be like, hey, you know, so and so's go. You see your friends. We're still young. They're going out partying, drinking, and getting pizza and burgers and all this stuff, and they don't care what their macros are. They eat whatever they want, and then it's like, you know, we're eating our boring old meals, and I've learned what the military taught me was just embrace the suck. Like, yeah, I don't get to do that. But you know what? When it comes show day, they're definitely not looking the way we're looking. So it's kind of like, you know, that saying, like, it burns so good or it sucks so much. Like, it's, you just kind of learn to love that it sucks, because there is a reward, and the rewards are the way you look, the character you built. I mean, most people aren't disciplined enough to just eat a specific diet. I mean, most people fall off after a week, you know? So the fact that you can discipline yourself, restrict yourself, deal with hunger for weeks and months on end really says a lot about your character. So like, let's say when you're in the off season and you're like working on like a school project or a job and you're treating it like a prep, you're going to be way more successful than the person who, you know, willy-nilly goes off their feelings, because you know that even though it doesn't feel good, I'm going to do what's right. So I mean,
Yeah.
that's not something you just, you know, you can just buy, you know. So take
Yeah.
pride in it, you know. It's really cool. But of course, you'll appreciate it during show day, I'm sure. You keep your stage photos, and then of course all that awesome stuff you'll probably eat after the show. So it'll feel better. It'll feel better. So all right.
Yeah.
So I think that's about it. Obviously, it was a pleasure speaking with you. It was super awesome to have you on, get a little different perspective of prep. So I'll go ahead in the description. I'll put your Instagram tag. I believe it's, let's see.
I don't even know what my Instagram is.
I
Like, could
usually
I
have
tell
these
you?
memorized. I apologize, audience. I usually have these memorized. It is Eleanor, ELEANORE 665. So you can find her there. Obviously, you're posting your updates. So if people want to see how you're doing, you're 7 weeks out. So, you know, whenever the shows come and go, you can see how those go. Also follow WOJ Pro and WOJ Training Systems to stay updated with both of us. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.